housing is so fundamental. It really is foundational for all the other things we care about. And I'm always surprised that it's not higher on the priority list. What we really see, and the data is overwhelming, is the direct correlations that a child grows up without proper housing. She doesn't stay healthy, she doesn't do as well at school, and therefore has a very low chance of being self-sufficient. If you inject good housing in, it doesn't solve everything, but we see much better health outcomes, therefore better educational outcomes, therefore the better chance of being self-sustaining economically at the end of the cycle. And we've seen over and over again families breaking that intergenerational cycle of poverty. My growing hypothesis, Denver, about why it hasn't been higher on the list is in our increasingly economically segregated societies around the world, most of us can live our daily lives without seeing the way that our brothers and sisters in other parts of our same cities might be living. So it's not visceral in the way that we can all relate to health and education. But I think when you talk to someone who's experienced poverty housing, after food and water, it is the most basic need in terms of creating a decent life. Certifications to make sure that we do create a safe environment. I think one of the ahas that we've had really is that the reason we use volunteers is less a construction strategy that we're very excited to have our volunteers come out and build, but really it's part of the overall social change strategy. What we really want is when you come out for that habitat experience, and we want that to be an on-ramp to getting engaged in the issues of affordable housing, not an end in itself. And so our hope is that when people come out, they have this powerful experience. They will become advocates and supporters of better housing policy, that they would become owners, and also break down the idea that the only way to volunteer is through construction. We have wonderful skilled volunteers who are board members, who are mentors to the families, who are engaged in bringing their financial skills or legal skills or advocacy skills. So there are a huge number of ways that you can get involved that don't necessarily involve construction for those who don't want to put on a hard hat. The center of our mission statement is that we bring people together, whether it's in Northern Ireland between Catholics and Protestants, South Africa between blacks and whites, Egypt between Christians and Muslims. We've been all about actually lowering barriers. One of my heroes, Desmond Tutu, sponsored a build every year for many years in South Africa with us. And he said, as the physical walls of the home go up, the invisible walls that separate us as people come tumbling down, and hope is built in the community. And I think, to me, that's such a beautiful picture of what faith in action should look like in our increasingly polarized world.